game-winning touchdown with 23 seconds left. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. That was the most big dick throw I've seen in a minute, kid.
Ravens fixing that wide receiver issue as we speak. They went out and signed the one and only Deshaun Jackson. Paperwork has been finalized.
Mike Gesicki should never do the gritty in his life again. We all let the first one slide. Like you can't.
Sauce Gardner putting on the fucking cheese head and running all around Lambeau, high-fiving everybody. Like,
I got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me, ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools, you could call them boy crap. Man, this gang got rules, man, you better watch your passes. This ain't not new.
what's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz Podcast. Today we're talking the recap of the Week 6 in the NFL. But before we get into it, go down as always, like and subscribe. And these are the hosts for your episode today. I'm Paul. Pick 'em and lose 'em, Concha, according to this week. And who am I joined with?
Kev, water boy, motherfucking boy. You feel me, man? And it feels good this week. It hit a couple of times. I did my research. I made sure I studied. It felt good watching the games this week.
Paid off because let me see. We'll go. So Jeremiah, Jerry Will 24, go give that boy a follow. He was on the show. He came in second place this week with 4-7-1. The one draw being he picked the Ravens, but then he also picked the Giants as his dog of the week. So kind of just threw that into the 50-50. I came in last.
Okay, you went second with 4 wins?
Yeah, I came dead last with 2-11.
Damn.
By far, they were my only 2 dubs were the Bengals and the Patriots.
I was about to say, I know you picked the Patriots because you was in that bit telling me you said Bill Belichick could take something away from you. Damn, so you missed on the, let me see what's some crazy shit. Oh, you missed on the 49ers and Falcons.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit this week. Kev, though.
You missed on the Eagles and the Cowboys?
Yeah, I took the Cowboys. I mean, I rode the Cooper Crush train. I didn't get off. I got off one stop too late. I should have got off a stop ago. But Kev, the king of chaos himself, went 9-4. He saw through all the bullshit that was the big spreads. He looked through the underdog glass and came out barking.
Almost. And you know what's hurtful? I would have loved to have picked the Steelers to beat the Bucks. I would have loved to, but I did it because I was smart, like everybody else in the world. So like a lot of the 4 games I lost, I feel like everybody lost those games. Like everybody, you didn't lose the Bucks and Steelers, you didn't lose the Packers and the Jets and the Giants and the Ravens. You must be a fucking genius. You must be able to see the future. And then nobody knew the Seahawks is going to come out and impress this week. So like a lot of these games, I was like, oh, I'm okay with missing those games because I know 100,000 other motherfuckers did too.
I'm mad because every time I pick the Cardinals, those fuckers lose. But hey, like I just don't have to. I just never know the right week to pick them.
That's how I feel about the Colts. That's why I was watching the entire Colts game. That's how I felt the entire Colts game. But man.
Before you give out your before you give out the waterboard games of the week, Kev has taken the lead in the yearly standings. He is 48-42-1. I am 47-43-1. 1 game behind. The Kev, I know it was looking rough for the first 5 weeks. Like it kept getting a little wider and wider, but like shit, all it takes is 1 fucking week like this, and
I respect it. I ain't gonna lie, I keep up with the week to week, so I know that I won week 1. You won week 2 through 5, and then I won week 6. That's how I be looking at it.
That's good. But Kev, 48-42-1.
That was good because I remember that one week when I went 5-10. That was hurtful.
I had one of those this week.
Yeah, that happens to the best of us, man. But let me know how the props did.
Props, we made a killing. 9-4 props on the week this so far, and like last week 10-6. So back to back, like picking over 60%. Like it's unheard of. This is a hot hand. Like please hop on it and make some money.
Please.
It's gonna be some NBA finals record. Like NBA teams going like 60 or 50-20. Like I'm gonna have one of those type of prop records.
So you went 10-6 on the props. How did we do on the locks and dogs?
So Kev, you went 1-1 on the locks and 1-0 on your dogs with the Patriots. I went 0-3 across the board. I should have co-signed because I was heavy on the Patriots with you, but I wanted to give out a big dog. I just picked the wrong big dog because all the other ones won. The Panthers with PJ Walker shit the bed. It looked kind of close for a little bit. Then Jerry 1-1 and 1-0 on his Giants pick.
That Giants pick was nice. I respect it. I blame him for the reason why they lost. But that's the perfect segue into Water Boys games of the week.
Yes, sir. I got my water.
So, man, I want to start off with the motherfucking Giants versus the Ravens.
Whew.
Wow, I forgot to write down the fucking score for this game. It was 20-24, though. I can tell you off the top of my head because I remember watching this game like, this motherfucker did not just throw it. These motherfuckers did not just lose this game, but that's exactly what they fucking did. And the Giants, they're looking like the truth. They had that hard-fought winning last week 2 weeks ago against the Packers. This week they had against motherfucking the Ravens. The Giants are looking like they don't give up. The defense played well. They're buying the ball, and they're figuring out ways to get stops and turnovers late in the game, and that's what you fucking need.
Yeah, and another late game collapse by the Ravens, and all they had to do was just not lose the ball. And it was a bad snap. It still hit Lamar, but it was a bad snap, pre-timed snap or something. It was snapping issues. Lamar just throw it away right there. Like, there's a reason why when people on bad snaps, they usually just either jump on the ball so no turnover happens, or they roll out and just throw that bitch away. Lamar tried to force the issue, and he threw it into a very tight window off that bad snap, gets the interception. And I might have to start playing the over half of interceptions for Lamar. You know, Lamar is tied with Carson Wentz with 6 interceptions for third, only behind Matt Ryan and Stafford.
Matt Picky.
Yeah, like I was shocked when I saw he had 6 interceptions. I was like, low-key, I think he's had one almost every game. So not every game, but he's had a few. And now it's like, oh, okay.
Dang, so you think the price of the brick is going down?
Price of the the first 3 weeks, that price was skyrocketing, and now it's just slowly kind of like coming back to, law of averages, baby. Like, it's slowly coming back down to the real world.
It's real talk. I mean, I always look at this team like I always look at how he can hit Mark Andrews so well. Like, him and Mark Andrews, the connection is like this. They figure it out, but nobody else. Like Isaiah Likely, 4 targets for 2 receptions.
That's the rookie tight end also. So that's like the
D. Robinson, 5 targets for 3 receptions. Motherfucking D. Dunave, I never know how to say his name, 5 targets for 1 reception. Kenyon Drake, 2. Like, he just can't hit these. He's not hitting the boys. Yeah. He's getting opportunities to pass at things, just not hitting their ass. And his longest run was like 25 yards. So, like, they kept him at bay, kind of, somewhat in the pocket. So, like,
hey, the Ravens fixing that wide receiver issue as we speak. They went out and signed the one and only Deshaun Jackson. Paperwork has been finalized.
So Mark Andrews starting a wide receiver this week. Hurt.
Basically.
But hey, shout out to Giants. I hope Giants fans are lit right now. I wish I could go to a game in New York because I know they be acting a fool and the boys be winning. But shout out them boys. That was a good game. It came down to it came back down to a turnover, and then the Giants taking it, man. Did you see any big takeaways from that game besides that?
Just Ravens got to clean up in the fourth quarter. This is like the 3rd or 4th game where you have a lead. You're kind of on cruise control. And then some shit hits the fan like this again. Like, so many times, it's a bad break one time. It's bad football second time. Maybe it's bad coaching the 3rd time. Like, it's hard. I don't know what it is at this point.
It's tragic because the Ravens have been a real, like, we like, oh, fuck the Ravens. We got to deal with them this year. But, like, they just kind of beat themselves consistently. We saw it last year a few times, especially when they had those back-to-back games where they missed the 4th down at the goal line type shit. But that's just the Ravens right now. We're going to hope that they can figure that thing out. And it's still early in the season. But on to the next one.
What's the next game on the list?
Colts versus the Jaggies. 34-27. Matty Ice is still alive. What do you have? 42 for 58. I don't know what world would you let Matt Ryan throw the ball 58 times and not expect at least 4 interceptions. But they did. And he ended up with 389 yards and 3 touchdowns and a game-winning touchdown with 23 seconds left. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. That was the most big dick throw I've seen in a minute, kid. And like it was just like, yo, all you needed was the first. You guys could go kick a field goal. And I just see this motherfucker throwing it over the top to Alec Pierce. And I'm like, what the fuck? Dang. And he just put it right there in the breadbasket. You would have thought he was doing it to Julio Jones. Like, and that was a great game. I think it shouldn't have been that close. They shouldn't have been going back and forth. Pat McAfee, it's funny because Pat McAfee has that $150,000 suite in that spot where Alec Pierce ran up to after he scored. But somebody went home early because the game was too close, and they wanted to skip the traffic so they could watch the Bills versus Chiefs.
Wow, that's a sad day right there.
Tragic. That's the reason why you pay $150,000 for them tickets. But Colts got 4 sacks on this Jags O-line. Colts look this game. I feel like this game was a lot closer than it was supposed to be. I don't understand why, because Trevor Lawrence didn't look too great. He threw like 1 touchdown and 3 ran the other 2 in. And Matt Ryan didn't make any mistakes. So like this game was a lot closer. Was way closer than it had to be, and way closer than comfortable. But shout out though, Coach. What did you take away from this game?
One of my big takeaways is like Lawrence is just so hard and so frustrating to judge because when he's in rhythm, he looks like an NFL starter. He looks like confident. He's making great throws. He's one of those quarterbacks that's mobile enough to get out of the pocket and extend plays, but he's not really going to kill you on the feet. But he can get those yards if need be. Like you saw with the rushing touchdowns, he's still the big body on the goal line, like for a sneak. But then once he gets out of rhythm or like some adversity shows, like he kind of folds under the pressure. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing with him is like, if everything goes right, which was his high school and college career, he looks absolutely fucking phenomenal. But once a little bit shit starts hitting the fan, then it starts like, okay, you start seeing some flaws and some tendency issues. And it's not looking too good right now if they keep up with these close games, because I don't know if Lawrence can be trusted in a close game. But I will say the second-year running back, Etienne, I wasn't high on him early in the season. I wasn't high on him last year. I thought James Robinson's a great running back, still do. But Etienne's slowly showing like, okay, this is a first-round running back. Like that big play that he took off, his catching ability, which makes him so much like that's why he's more versatile than James Robinson. Robinson can't catch as well. So Etienne's now, I think he's just showing like, oh shit, like the big play, the big runs, the catching ability. He's showing like, okay, he's slowly gonna be the RB1 over there, and Robinson's gonna kind of slowly take the back burner.
No, real talk, but we gonna see. But the biggest game, we're gonna get to that game. But I did want to do an honorable mention because this fucked me up. Packers, Jets, 27-10. Roberts and the Jets beat the fuck out the Packers. And look, I think the 10 points doesn't give them justice. Like this was supposed to be probably a 27-3 game, but Aaron Rodgers and Anthony Lazard got figured one out. But boy, the Packers need help on offense. But does Roberts did he build a squad in New York, or am I tripping? It looks like they got 2 squads in New York.
No, and I'll give him credit because like one thing I said before the show was not before, but on the picks was like, yeah, like Green Bay's Packers run defense is still shit, and like Breece Hall ran all over them just like Saquon did. So like they are getting fucking throttled. Like the Bears they lost, but they looked pretty good when they were able to get to the goal line. They couldn't convert in the red zone, but they were getting there. Why? Because they could run the ball, and it's like, oh shit, like if you can run the ball, like they might be turned into the Chargers of last year. Like if you have a good run game, you probably can beat the Packers because they're not going to be able to control time of possession. They're not feeding the running backs enough. I don't think they kind of like if they're down a little bit, they kind of lean on Rodgers, and Rodgers works best when he has a run game to lean on. So it's kind of like you're stabbing yourself by not running the ball whenever you're only down by 7 or so. But Robert's doing a fucking great job by hiding Zach Wilson. Like Zach Wilson, 10 of 18, 110 yards. Like he is not a good quarterback, but they're winning games, and it has nothing to do with him. But it's just like eventually, when they have to get into a shootout, this Jets team will probably lose just because they're hiding Zach Wilson really well behind really great defense. Sauce Gardner, putting on the fucking cheese head and running all around Lambeau, high fiving everybody. Like, come on now. Like, the charisma's at all time high. Young playmakers. Their offensive line is slowly getting healthier. I hate to say it, but the Jets are not the Jets of yesteryears.
No, it's interesting because the rookies are balling. Brees Hall, 110 yards, ballers. I want to say he only had 17 carries too. And then
20, but still.
Nice. And then Sauce Gardner, I want to say he had 8 targets towards him, only gave up 1 reception for 8. He might have 8 or 6, and then gave up 1 reception for 8 yards. That's it. Against, I understand the Packers don't have the best receivers in the world right now, but this is probably this is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and you're doing that. This team is balling. Their hype, like you said, charisma is up, and I'm loving to see it. And don't forget the punt block. That punt block was the difference maker. You can steal a point on special teams, and especially in close games, you look like a squad.
Packers lost last year to the 49ers due to a punt block in the playoffs. Like, their special teams is looking the fucking same also. Like, this is...
That's not good. That's not, because that was terrible last year. But that was an honorable mention, man. New York is balling right now. They're the gift. They're the gift that keeps on giving, I guess, to New York now. But on to the game of the motherfucking way.
Of course.
We got the Bills walking into motherfucking Arrowhead. Oh, what's it called? Pat Mahomes, J.A., Devin Singletary, and the entire Bills defense came through and won this game 24-20. And I'm going to keep it a buck. This was the battle of the best. And them boys going back and forth. You had J.A., 27 of 49 for 329 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a fucking hurdle, no interceptions. And then you had Pat Mahomes, 25 for 40, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But it was crazy to me watching the progression of this game because I felt like Pat Mahomes and J.A., they literally were doing the same thing until motherfucking like the third or fourth quarter. Like, they were literally like, I kept telling everybody, like, yo, somebody's going to take off this second half, because they're literally playing the exact same game. Just the difference is Josh Allen, I want to say they had a fumble. I don't think if Josh Allen fumbled it. Somebody fumbled it.
It was I don't know who got the fumble, but it was when Josh Allen pitched it back to the running back instead of like just letting the play die, and then it became a fumble. It was in the red zone though.
And then that interception for fucking Khair Alam in the fucking end zone, and I want to say he freaked the fuck out of not Juju, who had a good game this week, which was really nice. I don't know who he freaked the fuck. McCall Hardman freaked the fuck out of Brad in the end zone. It was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So this Bills defense.
I was just gonna say, yeah, in that end zone, and that interception came right after the fumble. So it was like back-to-back turnovers on both sides in the red zone.
And was it each their first possessions of the game?
Yep.
Yeah, this game was fucking awesome. Devin Singletary, the Bills won the rushing battle. Devin Singletary had 85 yards, and then, Josh Allen did his thing. But by forcing those 2 turnovers by the Bills defense was the deciding factor, that game-winning interception while Pat Mahomes is driving down.
Great defenses make great plays.
Deadass. And you don't want to give it to the Bills too early because they beat the Packers. They beat the Chiefs last year in the regular season and got whooped and then lost in the playoffs. But this team looks like they're tired of losing, and they're tired of losing to these mighty, mighty motherfuckers, and they're ready to fuck them boys up back.
I will say that the turnover, so great defenses make great plays in big time moments, which we saw with the Bills defense, and they're getting healthier. But one thing that was kind of scary was towards the end of the game, the Bills going for it twice, and both times being a turnover. And it kind of set up, like, if they would have, to kick the field, yeah, Tyler Bass, great kicker. If you would just kick those points, you're not as worried on, like, it's a tie game, Patrick Mahomes got the ball. It could have been, like, you could have got burned on not going for it, and now it's tie game, and Mahomes leads the field goal, win the game type shit, like Mahomes is known to do his own right. And that is those fourth down conversions. This, like, every year, it's not gonna say he's getting worse. We're just seeing him so much more that it's probably hitting at the same rate, the same percentages. But when they do not happen, it's just like oh fuck, like that's a like we'll get into that with the Cardinals, because Cardinals are the worst of the year with it this week. But those fourth down going for it, it's either you live and die by them, and the defense saved them this year on that turnover they forced after going for it.
Hell yeah, man. But that's been Waterboy's games of the week, man. Week 6 was 5. You said the week of the dogs, 6 of 13. That the games underdogs.
Yep, 6 of the 13 games underdogs won straight up.
Nice.
Let's see. Well, first game on my list here, we got the Falcons winning at home against the 49ers, 28-14. Mariota has 3 touchdowns on 14 passes. Like, I know you ran one in also, but how you feeling, Kev?
Bruh, keep y'all 5.5 points, motherfuckers. We over here did our thing. I think we look fucking great, and we was popping the brews at the end of the locker room, busting up the Bud Lights, talking about some
That was hard.
That was fire. So like, it was a good game, man. I think we stayed on point on the entire game. It was fun to watch as a Falcons fan. Caleb Huntley, certified dog. But the biggest thing was we showed them what the real number one defense looked like. We held down their run game. We forced
fumble recovery.
Fumble recoveries. We forced intercept. We got that interception late in the game. We showed them boys like, yo, man, fuck y'all number one defense. Fuck Kyle Shanahan. But we're the number one defense today. And that's what we did. They played fucking well. Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown in America. That was a good look. And then you had the white guy going crazy, ripping his shirt off and shit. So yeah, this was a fun game as a Falcons fan. Nobody expected us to win. And I liked how we our defense really stepped up and they forced Jimmy G to do things. They forced them boys to mess up. Like, because there were a couple plays downfield that like could have been like just difference makers, momentum changes. Like Ray dropped Ray dropped one, and then not Debo,
Ayuk,
but somebody dropped Ayuk. Yeah, Ayuk dropped one. Both, and they were both in the same spots. So it was like, wow. If those 35-yard passes would go, like it would have been a different story, but they didn't. And we kept Debo Samuel at bay. It was a beautiful game as a Falcons fan, man. I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, like I said, I think I tweeted out. If not, I should have. The Falcons are the funnest team in NFL. Like I said that at halftime, just because I thought y'all still probably would lose at that moment. It was like 14-21 halftime. Y'all were winning, but like because I was like, this team always covers. They're fucking the scrappiest dog by far. But they're some people were comparing them to the Lions of last year. I'm like, no, like this team's winning. Like they're not. The Lions were still losing. Like this Falcons team is winning. And Mariota's NFL star. As long as he's healthy, we've been saying that he is an NFL star. I don't care if he's only throwing 14 passes. He's running the ball pretty effectively this year, and like he's willing to put his body on the line as long as his body stands up to it. The Falcons are fucking looking pretty good, and this is only giving Riddler more time in the back end, just taking notes, studying. Sharpening his tools because he knows he is going to be the franchise guy hopefully next year if they don't need him this year, which will be perfect.
Fucking great if it goes like that. And then we get Calvin Ridley back next year, so he can sit there and work with a number one weapon. Man, everything's looking great right now. And don't get me wrong, you're supposed to you fade the motherfucking the Gatorade. You might have to fade the beers, but it was a good ass week as a Falcons fan.
One and negative. Not a negative, but the one thing that happened is a negative. But your cornerback, I think he's the one that got the interception, Casey Hayward. He is going to be out. He I don't know if he tore something, but I saw that he's now injured. He's going to be out.
Ouch. But yeah, that was scary at the end because we definitely lost both our starting corners, and it was like, fuck, how are you supposed to finish the game with no corners?
All right, let's see. We got to keep this moving. We have a couple blows. I would say that was actually the next game. Was the Miami Dolphins versus the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings ended up getting the win in Miami, 24-16. And honestly, it was a lot closer than that. Like, I'm just throw this out right now. Halfway through the second quarter, Vikings had 15 total yards. Miami's defense, they had first 4 drives, all 3 announced for the Vikings. Justin Jefferson did do nothing. Dalvin Cook wasn't doing nothing. Skylar Thompson was cooking, but every time he cooked, there was a flag calling us back. And okay, that happens. We're just playing bad football. Illegal man down the field, holding penalties on a big throw. It's like little shit that's killing us is we're doing it to ourselves. Then he gets a thumb injury. And here comes in Teddy Bridgewater, who hasn't practiced because he has been in concussion protocol all week, so he hasn't been able to practice. Coming in, it wasn't looking too good. Our defense is still doing their fucking thing, even though the Vikings eventually score. But we're keeping it in check. And then fucking Waddle's fumble. We're making a great drive, making big plays finally. Then Waddle's fumble gives the ball back to the Vikings. It's still a one possession game. We're thinking defense holds out. And then Dalvin Cook hit with the fucking backbreaker. Didn't do shit all game. He had 12 carries for 20 yards. And then he breaks off a 52-yarder touchdown. And that was all. At that point, the game was over. I don't care how many minutes was left on the clock. The game essentially over. But that's my take from my side.
I learned two things. I learned that their defense is still very, 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 very formidable. And Mike Gesicki should never do the gritty in his life again. We all let the first one slide. Like, you can't even find no video of the first one. Everybody let the first one slide. Nobody said nothing. But when he tried to hit that bitch with the fucking Justin Jefferson there, oh, that was disrespectful. And it was terrible. Jamar Chase, you got Robert Griffin the third time. Somebody stop this, man. Jamar Chase.
He did say he is retiring. He said there's no more. He's done. He tweeted that out. He said, "That was it. I thought maybe I got better. I did not."
We appreciate it, man, because, boy, I did not want to see that again. And that actually makes me put up a challenge, man. I low-key want to see a Totally Blitz gritty contest, man. I want to see all the Totally Blitz crew members, viewers, man. Send me your gritties, man. I want to see what they're talking about. I'll make a compilation for us to post on the Twitter.
Just like Bruce Buffer he did it.
Oh, man.
If you ain't see the clip, I gotta send that to you. Bruce Buffer one.
Once I seen Adam Schefter do it, and I think he got hurt doing that shit, I was like, yeah, never. We'll leave it to the professionals.
Yeah. We gotta keep it moving here. We got Kevin and me were both on this. Patriots blowing out the Browns. They did exactly what we said was gonna happen. What's one game that they could do? Run the ball. Okay, Belichick took that away. Brissett threw an interception like 10 seconds into the game. Like, I took the over on that prop and I cashed immediately as the game started. And Brissett just showed, like, all right, this Browns, we can't run the ball. We're not gonna beat anybody.
No cap, man. I saw this Patriots game first off. What did they call him? Zap and Zap. I can't remember what they was calling on the Pat McAfee show today. But Bailey Zapp looked fucking good. It's like they said on the Totally Blitz page, the Mac Jones stock is going down.
Plummeting.
Every week it's going down. I want to say Bailey Zapp threw like 300 yards.
Yeah, and a couple of touchdowns. They're calling him the Zap Master. They're calling him old Zappy. That boy has nicknames rolling in right now.
I'm taking Mac Attack away from him. I'm calling it Zap Attack. You feel me?
Ooh.
And they said that he had like he had the record for most touchdowns at this college or something like that. So it's interesting to see if he can if they can work him into the starting lineup.
Bro,
and then he's the one that's running
all those records. He had like 7,000 yards passing off. It was just absolutely insane.
That is a lot of fucking yards. But hey, man, Patriots, Bill Belichick, he's gonna do it every time. He shows that he's a great coach because he can scheme up shit to really fuck y'all asses up. And it was damn near a shutout, wasn't it? What the score was?
No, it was 38-15. I mean, one side brought a gun.
Not one side brought a gun. But yeah, man.
And Belichick now is tied for second most wins with Hollis with 324. And he still owns the Browns. Let's see if there anything else that was anyone get hurt. Nope. Oh, Ramon Stevenson is fucking RB1. Like, down to Damian Harris is out. Anyone who has him in fantasy, you just got blessed with like a top 5 running back for fantasy football the rest of the year.
Why, he's on the waivers?
No, he was it was split 50-50, but now that Damian Harris is out, like Ramon Stevenson's getting. So like a lot of people drafted him with RB2 potential, but now that he's getting full workload, 25, 30 carries. Oh, and the last thing was Mac Jones. People were saying in the Patriots circle that it was time, like they're humbling him. Like now this is like Mac Jones is too big for his own britches type of shit. And this is like he needed to be humbled.
He's getting a humble treatment, man. But that's that game, man.
Yeah, next game we covered Vikings, we covered Jets, covered Colts, Bengals getting the dub down in New Orleans, beating the Saints 30-26. This was a shootout right here. This is going back and forth, back and forth. Andy Dalton looking good. Fucking Joe Burrow put up, I think, his best fantasy day by far this year. Same with Jamar Chase.
It wasn't Andy Dalton that broke his hand, that broke his finger, was it? Or is it
He probably did, because I know that his availability is now up, and I don't know if it's broken, but I know he got hurt, and they're talking about his availability is up in the air.
Because I was watching, I want to say, he was doing this all game. Like,
No, that was Carson. That was Carson.
Carson. Okay.
He's out for 4 to 6 weeks. We haven't hit on that, but he is out of there.
But this game was fucking interesting as fuck, because Jamar Chase doesn't do what he does in this game. I don't know if the Bengals win this game. I'm keep it honest with you. Jamar Chase showed that he's still half man, half amazing, but the Saints just kept coming. Like, I did not expect the Saints to keep doing that. And this is the one game that they had a decent pass rush. I want to say everybody knows that the Bengals O-line isn't the best, but the fact that the Saints, they was really coming and bringing it all game. 30-26 is interesting for the game to end like this.
Yeah, and I mean, so Dalton, if he's healthy and everything, like, he might have taken. I know he lost this game, but this offense has looked way better the 3 weeks with Dalton than I think it has with Winston.
Yeah. And the Saints were able to run the ball all day. Alvin Kamara, Melvin Ingram, Mark Ingram, and Rashid Shaheed. Never even heard of him.
Rashid had one big carry for a touchdown, I believe. It was like a 30-yard touchdown.
44-yard touchdown. So they were able to run that ball on their ass. So that's interesting, because I really thought this game was going to come down to the D-lines.
Yeah, and I mean, Chase's big game, I cashed in on that. That was a big prop bet I had. It wasn't the way we thought it was going to be. That one big play wasn't no deep shot down left. It was like a curl that they missed the tackle on. He took it for like the 40 yards. But Chase, I mean, if they're going to start working, like, because you don't need just only deep shots for Chase. So I kind of like seeing them utilize him a different way this game, because he was, I won't say getting schemed out, but when they have two safeties up top, that deep route is never going to get open. So they had to learn a way to kind of get him open here, and they did. Let's see. Next game, Steelers beat. Oh, what's up? Last game for the 1 o'clocks, we had the Steelers beating the Buccaneers down in Pittsburgh. It was a little bit of a tag team action with Mitch Trubisky and Kenyon Pickett. What are some takeaways you have for this game?
Mike Tomlin. He keeps a standard up for his team, and he expects his team to play to that standard. And this is their first time winning without TJ Watt. Defense held the Bucs to fucking 18 points. 18,
I think all were field goals. I'm not sure. I think one might have been touchdown, but it was this field goal galore from the Buccaneers this weekend.
No, it definitely was all field goals.
Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna say there's one of the worst red zone teams I saw by far this weekend were the Bucs.
Mm-hmm. And you can blame it on whatever you want to blame it on, but at the end of the day, that Steelers team came ready to play.
No Mika either.
Oh yeah, no Mika. Chase Claypool looked fucking great. 7 receptions for 7 targets. 7 targets for 7 receptions. 2 different quarterbacks. Didn't matter who was throwing it to him. And that touchdown they got late in the game. But what the fuck is up with your man Brady, dog? Because we see that
offense stinks. I put that shit in big bold letters, right? Everything we say about the Packers, we could say about the Buccaneers too. Like, they're not doing it. But one thing like Brady screaming at the O-line, okay, not that big of a deal unless you start putting in the context that he doesn't go to Wednesday's practices. Friday, the walkthrough, he doesn't attend it because he has a wedding that he has to go to. Doesn't fly with the team to Pittsburgh. And so and then to top it all off, this is something I didn't see no one talking about in national media or on any of the shows. One of the players got hurt and he was on his back. Everyone in the circle, in the huddle around there, everyone's kneeling as you're supposed to. That's it. Brady's 10 yards off to the side on the field still, throwing the ball with his ball boy, just like this, while everyone around him on the Bucs side is kneeling. And it reminded me, it gave me Russell Westbrook with the Laker vibes that's been going on all off season. Like he does not, like Russell Wilson with the Seahawks last year. Like there's the team, and then there's Brady, and that's what it's kind of looking like right now. And it's kind of like it's not a good sign to see. Like that little not kneeling with the rest of the team when someone's hurt and getting carted off was like, are you detached from the team right now? Like what the fuck is going on?
And that's one of your main targets in Cameron Brady.
That it's just not a good look. And this offense, you couldn't score against the Steelers defense without TJ Watt, which has been getting made fun of all year. And then it didn't have Minka, and two rotating cornerbacks were out this week. This is the week Godwin's back and healthy. Like this is the week you're supposed to get it cooking, and it didn't happen.
Facts. Hey man, I wish I took the Steelers as my dog to fuck them Bucs.
Then, yeah, no, I wish I took that dog instead of this dog. This one burned me. I took the Rams, got burned. I should have known better, but they lost. I mean, I took the Panthers. Panthers losing to the Rams in LA 24-10. It was 10-7. Panthers winning at halftime. I was looking pretty good. I think they threw the pick 6 before halftime for one of those touchdowns. And the Stafford interception prop, cha-ching, everyone should just be telling. That's an auto play by everybody till the end of the year. But the big story isn't even the game. It's Robby Anderson.
Nah, that was actually insane to see them boys beefing like that on the sidelines. Did they ever explain what it was about?
No, I don't think they ever will. Just we don't even know what the hell was said between Antonio Brown and BA from last year, and they said they had that on video. Been waiting for that. But Robby Anderson, they shipped his ass out before the morning. Like it was 7:00 in the morning. ESPN notification: Robby Anderson traded to the Cardinals. He tried to play it off like, oh yeah, we weren't. It was no big deal. Football, there's some bullshit. And then the next day he got traded. Before I was like, yeah, no big deal. My ass.
He was beefing. He got kicked off the fucking sideline. That's the same. I mean,
escorted out.
I've never seen that before. Well, I probably haven't watched enough football, but at the end of the day, the Rams look decent. The defense looks straight, even though this is not that great of offense. And Allen Robinson scored. We find Allen Robinson actually did something recently. So cha-ching. Cam Akers, they say Cam Akers. They're shopping Cam Akers as we speak.
Yeah, didn't start. Didn't play.
Maybe this Rams team can start connecting some W's or something. But they look good this week. Let's see if they can do it again next week.
So Robby Anderson already gone. The name CMC to the 49ers is kind of getting a whale around now. Also, that's getting a lot of traction. So they said certain people like JC Horn, Brian Burns, DJ, there's certain people that are untouchable, but then there are certain people that are, for the right price can go. So they're kind of open season right now in the Panthers. They're kind of doing what the Texans did last year. Now I'm just thinking, what quarterback are they going to pick with the first overall pick in the draft?
No, dead ass.
One of the fun, I don't know about fun games, but it was football, nevertheless. We had the Seahawks hosting the Cardinals 19-9. And if you take away that defensive touchdown by the Cardinals, this offense from the Cardinals looked like only put up 3 points.
The Seahawks are coming to impress every fucking week. This shit is interesting.
So I hit it on it a little bit earlier about the 4th down decisions. Cardinals, so Seahawks had the worst defense up there with the Lions going into the game. Cardinals get into the Seahawks 25, crack the red zone 4 times in this game. They kick the field goal the first time, get the 3 points early. They go for it all 3 the other times, don't get it on any of them. If you just kick field goals there, 3, 6, 9, you have what? 12 points right there with the pick six. Even if you mix the extra point, it's 18-19, but you're probably going to make the extra. Like, teams are leaving points on the board. Like, this is what people were talking about bad football. Bill Belichick got to the goal line a lot. He kicked like 2-3 field goals from within the 5 against the Browns, and they blew them out. Like, this don't believe, like, this is Kingsbury. Like, you get like this, you're getting into the fucking scoring, and you're just not. I know you had a backup kicker, Matt Amendola, but this is within the 25. This isn't a 45-yarder. This is a 30-yard. This is the extra point distance.
No cap. And he said that he's willing to give up calling plays. And I'm just listening like, it's too late, man.
Yeah, but they extended him to 2027. Kyler got his big bag contract. So they're kind of in this, like, they went all in on these two because they were supposed to be a match made in heaven. Like, they literally got the quarterback for that scheme, and they got the coach for that scheme. And then one of the big, like, my biggest question, not biggest question, but one of the big question marks for me was Kyler throws that jump ball, the interception. Hollywood's 5'9". The corner that he's going up against is 6'3", runs a 4.2, 210, 2. This is almost like Hollywood versus DK Metcalf at a jump ball.
No cap.
What the fuck are you thinking? This is not D-Hop. D-Hop is not down there.
You think he just tried him because he was a rookie? Because Tariq Woolley, I never heard of him until that pick.
No, he is a rookie. He's like a 5th-round rookie, but he's just a specimen. He's been having a great year. He since week 1, I think he's against the Broncos. His name's kind of been like skating around like, yo, who's this? Like, the rookie corners on Seahawks are kind of balling right now.
Not bad at all.
I would rather throw that shit to Ertz, AJ Green, some big body guy, not your speedster. And then we had our Sunday night game where I should have got off the train a little earlier, but I didn't, and I got burned. The Eagles laying fucking beat down on the Cowboys. I don't care. Like, take off that fourth quarter touchdown. This is a 26-10 game, but 26-17, Eagles late on them. Kev, is this the grimy birds, the 6-0 right now?
Them dirty, filthy Eagles, man. Grimy over there. But Jalen Hurts is a dude, man. Jalen Hurts and that AJ Brown connection is fucking insane. Bradbury and Darius Slay over at corner right now is looking unstoppable.
Don't forget CJ Johnson Gardner.
Fact. And they got motherfucking secondary is nice. They've always had a nice front seven. This team's 6-0, and their schedule doesn't get too much tougher after this. So I just look like, damn, this was a good game, and they really just came ready to ball. And I think the Cowboys figured it out at certain points in the game. They really didn't get the rush offense off like that, but they figured it out when it got to 20-17, because we know this team is the greatest second quarter team of all time. Like, they're gonna put it on you. They're gonna not do shit first quarter, put it on you second quarter, and they kind of die down third quarter. But I like the fact that they kind of doubled back and they kept. And when the Cowboys got it close to 2017, after I want to say that Zeke touchdown, motherfucking, they just showed like, okay, they're still fighting us. We're not giving up, and we're gonna keep pushing it. And if they're able to do that throughout the rest of the season, I don't think they're going undefeated, but they definitely be motherfucking at least 14-2, 13-3.
See, people talk about undefeated thing, and I didn't agree with them. And then I checked their schedule, and the toughest team they face for the rest of the year is the Green Bay Packers.
Ouch.
And it's just like what, and maybe the Giants, Giants 5-1. No, like, so maybe they are like a real tough test. So people are discrediting those two games. But outside of those, like, they're not. They almost locked up playoffs right now with the way the rest of their schedule is locked in. And then I said it before. Are the Cowboys defense just bullies against battle lines, or are they actually a team that can stop teams and really make a difference? And I did not see. They had nothing going on for them before Lane Johnson went out with concussion. When Lane Johnson went out, the offensive line definitely got weaker. He's top 3 left tackle according to PFF right now. He's been fucking killing it this year. Then we started seeing Mika and Lawrence and them starting getting the pressures and stuff. So like, if they would have kept Lane Johnson, their D line did not do what we thought the Cowboys. I think this just proved like, okay, they'll look really good against bad O lines, but if you have a good O line, which will be almost any playoff team because you got to have a good O line to be winning games and be in the playoffs. We got to see if those difference makers on defense can actually do something. We have some more tests throughout the season, though. Maybe they'll come back on my bright good side, but this is a little thing I noted.
You said you need a good O-line to win games in the playoffs. Say that to the Bengals last year.
Hey, that's true. And what were their defense doing? Making those plays. That's what I was like. If you have the defense that can make, so they'll have their chances. We'll still see them play. We'll see them against the Eagles again. That's for sure.
Nah, my biggest things from this game was the Cowboys definitely tried because they almost had that touchdown at halftime with not CeeDee Lamb, number 85.
Noah Brown.
Yeah, he just didn't get his feet that second foot down. But it was great coverage by Bradbury. So they tried and fought most of this game. So I did respect them for that. And Michael Parsons looked frustrated. Like not just that they actually like clamped him up for a while, they had him clamped, but he looked genuinely frustrated. And I think that's a salute to this Eagles O-line. Like nobody's been able to do that to them boys yet this season. And they came ready to fuck them boys up.
Yeah, Cooper rushed 3 interceptions. Like Dak is healthy now. They'll be playing the Lions next week. Dak is back. So,
and I like the fact that Jalen Hurts wasn't even getting touched. Like
nothing.
But yeah, if AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts keep playing the way they do, and Devontae Smith keeps scoring them touchdowns, team's gonna be this team might go to the NFC Championship though.
And our final game, Monday Night Football, going to overtime, which is something the Broncos, I guess, love to do this year. Broncos losing to the Chargers in overtime. Chargers getting the dub. What was the final score here? 19-16. And what, again, a lot of people, once again, the Broncos brought the most boring game possible to prime time. It looked good, though, early.
I would say they started off the game early, great. They scored like 13 points.
Yep.
So they look great early, but nah, this team is not dangerous. I don't know why the fuck Javonte Williams went from starting to third string.
Oh, Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon. I don't know why the fuck you did that shit. And when you know you're on my fantasy team, Nick. And then the Chargers, I don't think the Chargers look too awesome in this game either. But the Broncos so they do better than last week. I'll give them that. And the Chargers figured out a way to win. But I do like the fact that the Chargers are getting like 25 different receivers involved while Keenan Allen's gone from Austin Eckler just picking up shit in the backfield. They say the 36.5 prop bet for Allen. Austin Eckler's been hitting consistently these last 3 weeks. Motherfucking Palmer. There's another motherfucker that they was throwing at this too, besides Mike Williams.
It was Palmer and Carter, DeAndre Carter. Gerald Everett, the tight end.
So I love to see that they were getting the entire team involved. So this Chargers team, I don't know what exactly they are. They're low-key one of my favorite teams just because I like Justin Herbert, but we'll see what they have in store this year or the rest of the year. This is a very
so one thing I think if the Broncos could have a good offense, they would have won this game. And Chargers, the Broncos defense looked just as good as ever. They had DeAndre Mathis, the corner. He had like 3 pass interference calls, almost back-to-back drives. And they weren't even like bad. There were flags, but it was those iffy plays. So I like your coach is not going to tell you to stop playing like that. Like if another ref wouldn't have called that flag. So so his aggressiveness sometimes gets bit on, and then he got a 4th one late in the game that also killed them. But it was just like 3rd down and 14, and then big pass interference. Now the Chargers got a new set of downs, but it wasn't even like their offense was clicking for like lots of parts of the game. It was like they get the Broncos had 150 yards given up on penalties, that's a whole extra side of the ball. That's almost like another offensive player that has balled out for you.
They were giving the bitches away for free all day.
Eckler, this is why people draft him, bro. This is the only, I won't say only because McCaffrey's the other one, but there's only 3 running backs that could only put up 36 rushing yards and still get you 24 points. He was getting nothing done really except for his receiving. Receiving, he was killing it, 9 catches for 90 yards. So he had a great receiving day, but between the tackles, Broncos stuff and shit, it was they went for it on 4th down a lot and were getting stuffed and they still couldn't capitalize. Jerry Jeudy snapping to Melvin Gordon, who was visibly pissed off because some people thought he got hurt. He was not hurt. He don't know why himself. What happened? Why did I get taken out of the game? He didn't fumble. He had 3 carries for 5 yards, but he had a nice little 7-yard carry that called back for a holding or something. So it was he wasn't looking bad.
He played 8 plays.
Yeah, he went on Twitter and started he liked one tweet that said Cam Akers for Melvin Gordon straight up, make it happen. He made another tweet that was Melvin Gordon, this is not he's not gonna ride no more, shit like that. It was just he's visibly pissed off. He's going on Twitter. He can't tweet about it, but he's liking tweets that basically kind of, I think, voicing his opinion. And fucking, what was it? The only time I think Russ looked good was when he had to leave that pocket. And then he made a 37-yard throw to Jeudy, 40-yard throw to Hamler. But those pocket shit wasn't working. Crazy stat, 15 yards total for Russell Wilson after halftime.
Yeah,
second half and overtime combined for 15 total yards by Russell Wilson.
That's terrible.
That's why Jerry Jeudy was snapping. That's why KJ Hamler last week was banging his helmet.
And he got paid $260 million
for the next 6-7 years, so they're stuck with it.
Pay that bag.
But anything on that game or anything else for the rest of the week?
Definitely looking forward to see. Definitely looking forward to see how some of these teams bounce back, like the Packers and the Ravens. Definitely want to see how those teams bounce back. And we won, bitches. Falcons on 3. 1, 2, 3, Falcons. But
Dirty Birds.
We some dirty birds. We got Kyle Pitts hitting that dirty bird in the motherfucking end zone. But if you didn't know, we don't mind telling you one more time that this is the Totally Blitz podcast, you bitch. And where we talk nothing, no filtered sports all day, every day. This has been the Week 6 recap. Make sure you stay tuned for our Thursday Night Football preview and everything that we got coming for you, from the Fight Club to the picks and predictions. And don't forget to cash in with my dog Paul and his best bets. And you already know the rest. So this is the Totally Blitz podcast, and I don't mind telling you, and the guy right beside you that use a beer.
Passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem.